CDL General Knowledge 2025. Pass your CDL permit exam on the first try. Are you preparing for your commercial driver's license CDL General Knowledge test? This is part 2 of a 3-part video series covering questions 81 to 160 out of 250 total practice questions. Watch all 3 videos multiple times before taking your actual DMV test to help ensure you pass on your first attempt. If you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe for more CDL test tips, practice questions, and trucking career advice. Let's get started and put you in the driver's seat. When loading a trailer, if the cargo is loaded all to the rear, it may result in A. Wheel lockup, B. Damage to steering axle, C. Poor traction on drive wheels. Correct answer: poor traction on drive wheels. Communication means A. Talking with law enforcement officers, B. Communicating your intention to other motorists, C. Talking on the CB radio. Correct answer: communicating your intention to other motorists. If you are convicted for driving under the influence while driving a commercial vehicle, and this is your first offense, you most likely will get A. A probation period of 1 year, B. At least 1 year suspension of your CDL, C. A fine of $260. Correct answer: at least 1 year suspension of your CDL. If you are stopped at a roadside rest area and found to have a BAC, blood alcohol concentration, of 0.02, you will A. Be placed out of service for 72 hours. B. Be in deep trouble with your dispatcher. C. Be placed out of service for 24 hours. Correct answer: be placed out of service for 24 hours. Which of the following statements about speed management is true? A. If you double your speed, stopping distance will double. B. Empty truck and loaded trucks will have the same stopping distance. C. If you double your speed, stopping distance will be increased by 4 times. Correct answer: if you double your speed, stopping distance will be increased by 4 times. You are driving a long vehicle that makes wide turns. You want to make a left turn from Ocean Street onto Atlantic Street. There are 2 left turn lanes, marked A and B, on Ocean Street. You should A. Use left turn lane A, B. Use left turn lane B, C. Stay in left turn lane and swing onto left turn lane B, just before entering the intersection. Correct answer: use left turn lane B. You are traveling down a long steep hill. Your brakes get so hot that they fail. What should you do? A. Downshift and pump the brake pedal. B. Look for an escape ramp or escape route. C. Both of the above. Correct answer: both of the above. The center of gravity of a load. A. Should be kept as high as possible. B. Can make a vehicle more likely to tip over on curves if it is high. C. Is only a problem if the vehicle is overloaded. Correct answer: can make a vehicle more likely to tip over on curves if it is high. To prevent a load from shifting, there should be at least 1 tie-down for every -feet of cargo. A. 10, B. 15, C. 20. Correct answer: 10. While driving, ice builds up on your wipers and they no longer clean the windshield. You should A. Keep driving and turn your defroster on. B. Keep driving and spray the windshield with washer fluid. C. Stop safely and fix the problem. Correct answer: stop safely and fix the problem. When the hydraulic brakes fail while you are driving, the system will not build up pressure, and the brake pedal will feel spongy or go to the floor. What should you do? A. Pump the brake pedal to generate pressure. B. Push down the brake pedal as hard as you can. C. Put the vehicle in neutral and set the parking brake. Correct answer, pump the brake pedal to generate pressure, which may be a sign of tire failure. A. Wheels skidding. B. A loud hissing noise. C. Vibration. Correct answer, vibration. To prevent brake fade you should A. Coast downhill, when it is not very steep. B. Apply constant hard pressure on the brakes while driving downhill. C. Select the gear, which will keep your vehicle at a safe speed on a deep downgrade. Correct answer, select the gear, which will keep your vehicle at a safe speed on a deep downgrade. A full stop is required at a railroad crossing when A. There are no flagmen, warning signals or gate at the crossing. B. The nature of the cargo makes a stop mandatory under the state or federal regulations. C. The crossing is located in the city or town with frequent train transit. Correct answer, the nature of the cargo makes a stop mandatory under the state or federal regulations. When driving at night you should use your low beams when an oncoming vehicle is within how many feet? A. 400. B. 500. C. 300. Correct answer, 500. When driving through the work zone you should A. Reduce your speed only if workers are close to the roadway. B. Turn on your parking lights. C. Watch for sharp pavement drop-off. Correct answer, watch for sharp pavement drop-off. Backing of the commercial vehicle is A. Always dangerous. B. Is not dangerous if you don't have to turn. C. Not dangerous if you have a helper. Correct answer, always dangerous. When you are parked at the side of the road at night you must A. Turn on your four-way emergency flashes to warn others. B. Put out your emergency warning lights within 30 minutes. C. Use your tail lights to give warning to other drivers. Correct answer, turn on your four-way emergency flashes to warn others. You must stop on a hill or curve on a two-lane two-way road. How far should you place reflective triangles? A. As far back as necessary so others can see you. B. Within 200 feet behind you. C. Within 500 feet behind you. Correct answer, within 500 feet behind you. Stab braking should not be used on vehicle with A. Trailers. B. Anti-lock brakes. C. Hazardous materials. Correct answer, anti-lock brakes. Sometimes you need to leave a road to avoid a hazard or emergency. When you do so you should keep in mind that A. Most shoulders are not strong enough to support a heavy vehicle. B. You might be unable to re-enter the road because of the gravel used on shoulders. C. It is less dangerous to drive onto the shoulders than to make a collision. Correct answer, it is less dangerous to drive onto the shoulders than to make a collision. Which of the following is not a characteristic of the front tire failure? A. Vehicle's fishtail. B. Steering wheel. C. Cold steering. Correct answer, vehicle's fishtail. Most skids A. Happen on ice. B. Do not happen with radial tires. C. Are caused by going too fast or trying to stop too quickly. Correct answer, are caused by going too fast or trying to stop too quickly. In a bad weather many car drivers tailgate large vehicles. What should you do? A. Increase your following distance. B. Lightly tap your brake to warn the tailgater to drop back. C. Speed up to distance yourself from the tailgater. Correct answer, increase your following distance. Which of the following systems should receive extra attention during winter weather inspection? A. Suspension. B. Exhaust. C. Steering. Correct answer, exhaust. What happens to tar on the road pavement during hot weather? A. Nothing. B. It becomes staining, making tires stick to the road. C. It bleeds, making the road surface slippery. Correct answer: it bleeds, making the road surface slippery. What is the best advice for driver when a heavy fog occurs? A. Do not drive too slowly or other drivers may hit you. B. Park the truck until the fog disappears. C. Alternate your own high beams to improve your vision. Correct answer: park the truck until the fog disappears. In mounting driving, you will have to use a lower gear to drive safely on a grade. Which of these does not affect your choice of gear? A. The length of the grade. B. The weight of the load. C. Tire treads depth. Correct answer: tire treads depth. What should you do before driving in mountains? A. No escape ramps location on your way. B. Unhook your steering axle brake. C. Carry the tire chains in your vehicle. Correct answer: no escape ramps location on your way. Escape ramps A. should be used by any driver who loses braking power. B. Are not designed for tractors, double trailers. C. Are designed to slow vehicles so they can get back on the road at the safe speed. Correct answer: should be used by any driver who loses braking power. Which of these is true about notifying the authorities after an accident occurs? A. An exact location is not necessary, just identify the road and the vehicles involved. B. You should notify authorities about an accident before doing anything else. C. If you have a cellular phone or CB radio, you should notify the authorities before exiting the vehicle. Correct answer: if you have a cellular phone or CB radio, you should notify the authorities before exiting the vehicle. If you are not sure what to use to put out the hazardous material fire, you should A. Wait for firefighters. B. Use water. C. Use dirt. Correct answer: wait for firefighters. Which of these is not a danger of a rough acceleration? A. Mechanical damage. B. Tire damage. C. Damage of a coupling. Correct answer: tire damage. Which of these lights cannot be checked at the same time? A. Turn signals, tail lights and clearance lights. B. Turn signals, brake lights and four-way flashes. C. Headlights, brake lights and clearance lights. Correct answer: turn signals, brake lights and four-way flashes. You are inspecting hydraulic brakes. You should pump the brake pedal 3 times, then apply firm pressure to the pedal for 5 seconds. If the brakes are working properly, the pedal should A. Depress slightly. B. Sink to the floor. C. Not move. Correct answer: not move. Drivers of trucks and tractors trailers with cargo must check that the cargo well secured within the first -miles of the trip. A. 10. B. 25. C. 50. Correct answer: 25. When staffing a bus on a level surface with good traction, there is often no need for A. Parking brakes. B. A tire check. C. Slow acceleration. Correct answer: parking brakes. How the weight of the vehicle affects stopping distance. A. Fully loaded trucks take longer to stop, or the buses loaded with passengers take less distance than empty. B. If brakes work the same no matter what is the weight of the vehicle for both trucks and buses. C. Empty trucks take longer to stop than if loaded, but this is not the normally case for buses. Correct answer: empty trucks take longer to stop than if loaded, but this is not the normally case for buses. When you are staffing to move up a hill from a stop. A. Release the parking brakes as you apply engine power. B. Engage the clutch and accelerate quickly. C. Keep the trailer brake hand valve applied until you reach 20 miles per hour. Correct answer: release the parking brakes as you apply engine power. What is true about using a heater? A. You must have at least one extra heater, such as a mirror heater, battery pack heater, or fuel tank heater. B. If you feel sleepy, warming of your cab with the heater will help you stay alert. C. When driving at winter weather, you should check that the heater is working properly before starting your trip. Correct answer: when driving at winter weather, you should check that the heater is working properly before starting your trip. Wire damage of exhaust system is a danger. A. Noise can damage the driver's ears. B. Poisonous fumes can enter into the cab or sleeping compartment. C. You can pollute the air with the exhaust smoke. Correct answer: poisonous fumes can enter into the cab or sleeping compartment. Which of these is not a danger when an automatic transmission is forced into a low gear at a high speed? A. A loss of engine braking effect. B. Damage to the transmission. C. A loss of steering control. Correct answer: a loss of engine braking effect. Perception distance is the distance your vehicle travels from the time A. Your eyes see a hazard to the time your foot pushes to the brake pedal. B. The brain tells the foot to push the brake pedal to time the foot responses. C. The eyes see a hazard to the time the brain knows that this is a hazard. Correct answer: the eyes see a hazard to the time the brain knows that this is a hazard. Extra care is needed to keep your vehicle centered in your lane because commercial vehicles A. Require a lot of room to change lane. B. Are often wider than other vehicles. C. Tend to sway from time to time. Correct answer: are often wider than other vehicles. You should lightly apply your brakes to flash the brake lights if A. You are about to exit the road and need to slow down. B. A police car is approaching you from the other direction. C. A driver tailgates your vehicle. Correct answer: you are about to exit the road and need to slow down. Merging to the road is safest if you A. Wait for a large enough gap in the traffic to enter the road. B. Bend over into the nearest lane so the other vehicles will give you room. C. Gain speed on the shoulder and then merge. Correct answer: wait for a large enough gap in the traffic to enter the road. Which of these is not something you should do if your headlights are not working properly? A. Leave on your high beams. B. Clean your headlights. C. Adjust headlights. Correct answer: leave on your high beams. Which of the statement about backing a heavy vehicle is not true? A. You should back and turn toward the driver's side whenever it is possible. B. You should use a helper and communicate with him with hand signals. C. Because you cannot see, you should back slowly until you slightly bumped into the dock. Correct answer: because you cannot see, you should back slowly until you slightly bumped into the dock. The distance that you should look ahead of your vehicle while driving is about dash at low speed. A. 1 block. B. 2 blocks. C. Half block. Correct answer: 1 block. Which of these is correct about emergency or evasive action? A. In order to turn quickly, you must have a firm grip on the steering wheel. B. You can stop more quickly than you can turn to miss obstacles. C. Stopping is always the safest thing to do in a traffic emergency. Correct answer: in order to turn quickly, you must have a firm grip on the steering wheel. What does emergency braking mean? A. Pushing down the brake pedal as hard as you can. B. Responding to a hazard by slowing the vehicle. C. Using the vehicle emergency brakes. Correct answer: responding to a hazard by slowing the vehicle. When driving in cold weather, your tire tread should A. Provide enough touch into steer and push the vehicle through snow. B. Be double the depth required in normal weather. C. Be checked every 100 miles or every 2 hours. Correct answer. Provide enough touch into steer and push the vehicle through snow. Which of these is true about hauling of hazardous materials? A. Cylinders with compressed gases should be transported under covers if there is no label on them. B. Such a load should be marked with a 4 inches diamond-shaped labels on the containers. C. Such a load should be marked with a 4 inches circle red-colored labels on the containers. Correct answer. Such a load should be marked with a 4 inches diamond-shaped labels on the containers. Which vehicle will have the most difficulties staying in its lane during strong wind? A. A double with an empty trailer. B. A tractor pulling a loaded flatbed trailer. C. A triple-axle vehicle with cargo. Correct answer. A double with an empty trailer. Why your vehicle's speed naturally increases on a downgrade? A. Gravity. B. The engine runs smoother. C. Lack of traction. Correct answer. Gravity. During the vehicle inspection, checking of dash will not prevent a fire. A. Cargo ventilation. B. Battery fluid level. C. Electrical system isolation. Correct answer. Battery fluid level. When it is necessary to learn how a fire extinguisher works. A. Before the fire happens. B. Only when the fire happens. C. Only when you are transporting flammable materials. Correct answer. Before the fire happens. What is the most important reason to inspect your truck or bus? A. Safety. B. Safety to avoid being cited. C. It's the law. Correct answer. Safety. You are checking your steering and exhaust system in a pre-trip inspection. Which of these problems, if found, should be fixed before the vehicle is driven? A. Steering wheel play of more than 10 degrees, 2 inches on 20 inches steering wheel. B. Oil on a tire rod. C. If a grey smoke coming out from the exhaust pipe. Correct answer. Steering wheel play of more than 10 degrees, 2 inches on 20 inches steering wheel. Convex, curved, mirrors. A. Make objects appear closer than they really are. B. Make objects appear larger than they really are. C. They show the wider area than flat mirrors show. Correct answer. They show the wider area than flat mirrors show. Why it is important to shift gears correctly. A. To keep control of the vehicle. B. To keep the engine warm. C. To keep the engine oil flowing. Correct answer. To keep control of the vehicle. What 3 distances build up the total stopping distance of your truck or bus? A. Attention distance, reaction distance and slowing distance. B. Respond distance, observation distance, and braking distance. C. Perception distance, reaction distance and braking distance. Correct answer. Perception distance, reaction distance and braking distance. Which of these actions are not recommended for a left turn? A. Start at the inside lane and swing right as you turn. B. Use a right-hand turn lane if there are 2 turning lanes. C. Start your turn in the center of the intersection. Correct answer. Start at the inside lane and swing right as you turn. When you're passing the other vehicle, pedestrian or bicycle, you should assume that A. They may be moving to your traffic lane. B. They know you are to pass. C. They see your vehicle. Correct answer. They may be moving to your traffic lane. In your mirror you see a car approaching from the rear. The next time you check your mirror you do not see the car. If you wish to change the lane, you should A. Wait to change lane until you are sure that car is not in your blind spot. B. Ease to another lane very slowly so cars, which are besides of you, can get out of your way. C. Assume that car left the road and change the lane. Correct answer. Wait to change lane until you are sure that car is not in your blind spot. Which of these is the proper signal to change lane? A. Signal early and change lane slowly and smoothly. B. Signal before the change and move over quickly. C. Signal after you begin change and cross over slowly. Correct answer. Signal early and change lane slowly and smoothly. You are driving in the area with a few street lights. If you cannot see well with your headlights, which of the actions may help? A. Find another route that is better lit even if it is out of your way. B. Turn your interior lights on and adjust your instrument lights. C. Use your high beams when legal and keep your interior lights off. Correct answer. Use your high beams when legal and keep your interior lights off. Most serious skid results from A. Driving too fast for conditions. B. Turning too sharply. C. An uneven load. Correct answer. Driving too fast for conditions. What should be true about other drivers? A. Mail or delivery trucks are professionals and do not pose a hazard. B. Drivers who use turn signals always should be trusted to turn to the indicated direction. C. Short-term or daily rental truck drivers are often not used to limited vision and pose a hazard. Correct answer. Short-term or daily rental truck drivers are often not used to limited vision and pose a hazard. What is not true about bad weather and driving conditions? A. When the temperature drops, the bridges freeze before the road. B. The road is more slippery when the rain continues than when rain begins. C. Driving conditions become more dangerous when temperature rises above freezing. Correct answer. The road is more slippery when the rain continues than when rain begins. Which of these statements about hazard of vehicle fire is true? A. Poor cargo ventilation may cause cargo to catch on fire. B. Carrying a fully charged fire extinguisher may prevent a fire. C. Underinflated tire do not cause a vehicle fire. Correct answer. Poor cargo ventilation may cause cargo to catch on fire. You should wear a seat belt in a moving vehicle. A. Only when you are driving. B. All the time. C. Only when you are on a highway. Correct answer. All the time. Which of these items is not checked for a pre-trip inspection? A. Whatever all lights are working. B. Amount of fuel on a vehicle. C. Cargo securement. Correct answer. Amount of fuel on a vehicle. Which of the statements about pre-trip inspection is true? A. When you park on a street, you should walk so you face away from an oncoming traffic. B. Leave key in the ignition so you do not lose it when you are under the truck. C. If you need to tilt a cab, secure loose things so that they could not fall or break anything. Correct answer. If you need to tilt a cab, secure loose things so that they could not fall or break anything. Can state inspectors inspect your truck or bus? A. Yes, but cannot put you out of service. B. Yes, and they can put you out of service if unsafe. C. No. Correct answer. Yes, and they can put you out of service if unsafe. Which of these statements about cargo loading is true? A. The state law dictates legal weight limit. B. If cargo is loaded by the shipper, a driver is not responsible for its load. C. The legal maximum weight allowed by the state is considered safe for all driving conditions. Correct answer. A state law dictates legal weight limit. Which of these is not required knowledge of driver needed a hazardous material endorsement? A. Basic chemistry. B. Which products can be loaded together? C. When to use the placards. Correct answer, basic chemistry. To determine blood alcohol concentration level for a person, it is necessary to know A. How much a person weighs. B. How often a person drinks alcohol. C. How old is a person. Correct answer, how much a person weighs. Implied consent means A. You are giving your consent to inspect your vehicle for alcohol. B. It is understood that you may drink alcohol now and then. C. You are given your consent to be tested for alcohol in your blood. Correct answer, you are given your consent to be tested for alcohol in your blood. The engine brake effect is greater when the engine is governed RPM and the transmission is on a dash gear. A. Below, higher. B. Near, lower. C. Above, lower. Correct answer, near, lower. Thanks for watching CDL General Knowledge 2025. If this video helped you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more CDL test prep and trucking tips. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Have questions or want more practice tests? Drop them in the comments below. Good luck on your CDL exam, and see you in the next video.